Okay, so I'm Richard Ortiz. Thank you for joining today's DocuNav webinar. I'm one of the customer success managers here at DocuNav, and today's webinar is going to be Laserfiche repository and searching best practices. So we appreciate you taking the time to join us as we walk through what some of those best practices. Today's session is going to be led by one of our engineers, Travis Baxter, who will walk us through essentially helping you find what you need when you need it. After the presentation, we'll open the floor for a live Q&A session so we can address any questions that you may have directly. And as we move through the presentation, just know that if you have any questions, please type them into the chat so that Travis can continue to move through, and we'll address those at the end, time permitting. We're really happy to follow up with you all at the end of this webinar if there are any questions that are unanswered. And with that being said, I will go ahead and turn this over to Travis. Travis, if you want to go ahead and begin, that would be great.
Perfect. Hello, thank you everyone for attending today. Thank you, Richard, for the introduction. Today, we're going to be walking through best practices, as Richard said, for searching in Laserfiche, especially focusing on how to better organize your repository. The goal is to help you spend less time looking for documents and more time actually using them. First, I want to introduce myself. As Richard said, my name is Travis Baxter. I'm a support engineer 2 here at DocuNav. I've been working with Laserfiche for over 2 years and have been with DocuNav for 2 years. Here's what we'll cover today. First, we're going to talk about how to organize your repository in a way that scales as your organization grows. Next, we'll look at metadata, what fields matter, and how to design them effectively. Then we'll go into search strategies, and so you can find exactly what you're looking for. We'll also go over some of the most common mistakes and issues that people have when searching. Before we get into the weeds of all that, we'll need to know a little bit what a Laserfiche repository is. It is a central database used by Laserfiche to store and organize all of organizations' digital content. Think of it as a secure digital filing system where documents, images, records, and data are all kept in one place. It's more than just storage, it also manages how information is structured, indexed, and retrieved. Inside a repository, files are organized into folders, like a traditional file cabinet, but with added capabilities like metadata, search tools, and access controls. This allows users to quickly find documents, automate workflows, and ensure compliance with record policies. In short, Laserfiche repositories act as the backbone of the system, enabling efficient document management, secure access, and streamlined business processes. That'll take us into the organization of a repository. A well-organized repository isn't just about being neat, it directly impacts productivity. When your structure is clear, users can find documents faster, duplicates are reduced, and you avoid the frustration of lost documents or just can't find documents. It also helps with compliance, especially if you need to follow retention policies or audits or stuff like that. Importantly, good organization sets the foundation of everything we'll see and talk about today. Creating folder structure. When creating folder structure in Laserfiche, the goal is to keep information organized, simple, and easy to navigate. Think of it like a digital filing cabinet that we talked about earlier, grouping documents by department, function, or type, such as employee records, finance, or operations. It's important to keep this structure consistent and not overly complicated so users can quickly find and file documents correctly. Overall, a well-designed folder structure makes managing and retrieving information much more efficient. The example on the screen to the right is an active folder structure that one of our clients uses. When building the folder structure, some of the best practices to follow is to think of the long term. Avoid creating deeply nested folders in your folder structure, going to many levels down. It becomes difficult to navigate and maintain. Starting at the high level categories based on business functions like finance, HR, operations, rather than individual teams or people or temporary teams. Um, Organization beneath that by process and document type so users can follow logical paths. Finally, also, always ask yourself, will this still work if we grow or change? That's the most important thing when creating paths. That'll take us to the metadata. Metadata in Laserfiche is far more powerful than just a file name alone. Instead of cramming everything into the name, use metadata fields to store important information like dates, department, and document types. Define which files are required and which are optional, and make sure those standards are consistent across the whole organization. Documenting these standards is critical so everyone follows the same rules so things are not lost. Metadata is what transforms your repositories from being a file cabinet into a searchable system. It allows users to find documents without knowing exactly where they're stored. So just by searching for specific information, they can find these documents. It also supports automation from workflows or reporting or auditing or anything like that. It's easy to find. Without good metadata, the best folder structure won't be enough. Using templates. Templates help standardize how metadata is applied. Each template should align with specific business processes. Keep them simple and intuitive. If they're too complex, users won't be able to find or won't be able to fill them out or find them correctly. Group related fields together. Use drop-down lists wherever you can, so users are less likely to make mistakes when filling them out. That brings us to consistency and standardization. It's everything when it comes to folder design and metadata. You want similar types of information to be organized the same way across departments. Trying to keep your structure relatively shallow. Too many levels makes navigation harder, so it's harder to find documents. Naming conventions play a big role in both organization and searching. So each employee records documents has the same kind of name, so you know where to find them. File names should be clear and consistent, so they're not making up their own. They're all the same. A good naming convention for metadata typically includes the date, document type, document description, and then a key identifier like vendor name, project name, employee ID, something like that. That'll take us to searches. These are the three main types of searches in Laserfiche. The quick search is great for fast and broad searches. Search filters is more structured and works well when you know specific metadata. Advanced search lets you combine multiple criteria for precise results. Understanding these three different types of search will help you find things faster and more efficiently. These are where the three types of searches are found. So number one is going to be that quick search where it's at the top of the screen, just a normal search bar. It's very broad search that we don't recommend using because it's usually too broad, and for repositories that get too big, it wants to search the whole repository, and that will cause delays and lag in your search times. The second one is going to be that search filter. So this is where you're going to be able to search by template or folders or dates, or there's a whole bunch of different folders or filters we'll go over later. But this is the much better search that will get you results much faster. And then 3 is an advanced search. That's one of the filters in the search filter that well, you'll be able to perform more advanced things like searching for document extensions. This is a whole language that you'll need to learn through this Learn More button on the screen, but we can go over that later. That'll take us to our live demo. So on the screen here is a sandbox environment that is very simple. It just has this one user in it with some of their fake documents. Also has a ZZ work queue folder, which you'll want to create in your folder structure for uploading documents. This is where documents sit before they have their metadata filled out. So as you can see, the fields doesn't have any template assigned to it or any fields filled out. After this is filled out like this one, you could then file it away into Joe's folder. So in Joe's folder, we have different documents. This document is going to be for document type is employee time off. Employee ID 1, name is Joe. So when searching for something like this, it's not best to just go into this folder and go search. Yes, it will come up, but this will get every single document that is related to the keyword Joe in it. So as you can see, the folder shows up. This document that has just the metadata filled out as Joe gets pulled up, and then these ones get pulled up. It's for Joe. It's filed away correctly. First name Joe. So running a search like this in a normal repository with hundreds of thousands of documents will sit here and load until everything related to just the keyword Joe shows up. So we don't recommend a search like that, but it is a possibility. This type of search, searching for something like Joe or just a name like this, will usually cause an error, saying a timeout error or a failure to load or something like that, or it'll sit there and just spin for 10 minutes. A search that is better for searching up Joe's information is going to be when you click on search filters, you're going to get all of these filters here that you can use. The best one to use in this case would be template. So we can get rid of all of the other ones and we can search by just template. As we know from before, we know that the records or the template was employee records template. We know Joe's employee ID, so that is going to be the best way to search, where employee ID is exactly 1. After searching for this, we're going to get every single document in the repository that is equal to employee ID equals 1 and template equals this records. You could do this in multiple different ways. Maybe you don't know the template information. Maybe you just want to search through the folders. So within folders is a great one as well, where you can search within a selected folder. So within the active folder, double click it, and then in Joe's folder, click OK. And then you can search this as well. And just these 3 documents that were in this Joe folder will show up. Just can be done in many different ways. Those are just 2 examples. As you can see here, there's a bunch of different type of filters. We can go through some of them here. Date is a good one. Keywords. So this is your annotations one. So anything that is applied to these documents, you can search through keywords of those, stamps, text boxes, comments, sticky notes, anything like that. Business processes. So business process are run on the background of most repositories if you have it set up correctly. So after, let's say we fill in the employee metadata, we fill in document type, document description. This filing workflow is looking at for any changes made to this document, and this filing workflow will run automatically, putting it into Joe's folder automatically. If you have that set up, you can run searches for any EMP filing workflows ran on documents. The date is a good one because you can see if you don't know much about a document, but you know when you uploaded it or when it was supposed to be uploaded. You can search by created. Last modified is going to be if anything was touched on the folder, so if it or document or folder. Um, so if the document had metadata changed, or someone moved it, or if a workflow moved it, something like that, it's going to be your last modified date. So it's a good way to search as well. Keywords is the most basic type of search. It's the same search that is up here. This is a basic search. That takes us to saving a search. So if you're running a search constantly every single day, or maybe you just want to look for your stuff every single day, you can save a search. So search by template, you know that your stuff is going to be the employee records template, and your employee ID is exactly, let's say you're Joe and you're one. Press search, your stuff comes up. You can then save this search as your own search, whatever you want. So employee, let's do number 1. And then you can save that search. So after you leave, so you come in for the day and you want to search for your documents again, you can click on this search. It automatically runs it immediately. You can have access to all your files. This can be done, set up any type of way you want. Maybe you're searching for only invoices in a finance repository, so you select invoices, and then all you have to do is fill out the invoice number or whatever the case may be. After that, the best way, or the last type of search is going to be the search syntax. This is a very advanced way of searching the repository. Ooh, that's why you save your searches. So I just got out of it. Search syntax. So here is going to be a custom type of, I want to say coding language, but kind of a coding language to search. Most of these search syntaxes, there is a way of searching for them regularly through these search filters. It just makes it easier if you know the language behind it. So this is a good one to know off the top of your head is search for entry ID. You can search for entry ID by going to name, adding this, and typing in the entry ID right there. Or you can do search syntax. You could type this in and you can put 11 here. It's going to do the same thing, but running this search will open up the entry ID. This entry ID here is 11, so it's only going to pull up that document. So if you know the language behind this search syntax, it's very helpful. You can run multiple different ones. You can run, another good one is this extension one. So any type of extension here, I don't think there's any in this repository, but you can do it here as well. So type is going to be this one, where type is choose a file extension, PDF. You could do it that way. You could search for PDFs. Oh, there is one in this one. So it brought back this one document that is a PDF document. So you can do it this way, or you can do it the search filters way. You can put multiple different search filters or search syntaxes in here to find as many documents as you want. The best way to learn more about that is by clicking this Learn More button. You have access to this whole page here on Laserfiche that'll describe everything you need to know and the language behind search syntax. Can't go over every single one today, but it's a good thing to know. That'll bring us to our common issues here. Here we go. Common issues when searching in Laserfiche. First is access rights. You can only find documents if you have permissions to view them. If something isn't showing up the repository, but you know it's there, or a coworker has access to see it, you may not have this access rights to view these documents, and you'll need to reach out to your administrator to get access. Second is trying to look up too much data. So like we were saying before, when searching for Joe or a name in that first search box, it's searching the whole repository, which will lead to delays, and will probably pull up thousands of documents, which won't be helpful in your search. You have to scroll through those thousands trying to find what you were actually looking for. Lastly, like we talked about, was saving searches. Not saving common searches can be wasting time. Saving these frequently used searches makes it much easier and quicker to find the same information over and over again. Being aware of these issues, common issues, can help you make your searches faster and more effective. That'll do it. Is there any questions, concerns, anything I can go over more?
So Travis, I think you might have pulled it, gone back as the comment was put on here, but Leslie Stone was asking if you could show how to basically go to the search syntax again. I think you might have done that on the fly, but if not, if you wouldn't mind going back and showing how that was done.
Yeah. So in here, search filters. This is the default one that pops up in search filters, but you're going to add a filter here. You can deselect all of these, and then it's just an option right here of search syntax. Press OK there, and then if you want to learn more about the language behind the search syntax, you can press learn more here, and it'll open up a whole thing in Laserfiche about it. But that's how I got there.
Awesome. We also have Stacy, who was asking if you can demonstrate sharing saved searches with others, and also if you have a saved, or if you shared a search, can you modify it later?
Yeah. So in save searches, you can pull it up automatically, but you can go here, manage save searches. You can rename it, or you can just create a new one. Is the best way of modifying it by clicking on the search and then changing whatever you need to change about it. So maybe you want to change the template to employee records, save this search, and then typing in a new name. Save or sharing one with other people. We don't have groups set up in this repository, so it's not going to come up here, but you can set up groups for the team or group you're in. So let's say there's an HR department group. You can put that here, and you can assign it to the HR group. So everyone in that HR group now has the safe search and will pop up on the safe searches tab at the top. Other than that, there's no other better way of sharing a search. You can copy and paste this URL after you search, and that should take them to where you're searching. This URL has a whole bunch of information of exactly what folder or search results you bring back.
And just to clarify, for those that aren't very familiar with saved searches, this is a function for those that have things that they regularly look for if there's like a certain document type or certain criteria that they're always searching for, that they don't have to retype all that information. They can just look it up
Exactly.
with those. Okay, perfect.
So when you go to the search filters, this automatically pops up by default, and so clearing this out every time is redundant and waste time. So having a safe search just makes it a lot easier.
Awesome. So we got Sandra, who asked if the search is shared, can the individual users modify the search, or does that modify the search for the individual only? Meaning like if I made the search, if I saved it and then I shared it with you and then you modified it, does that just modify it for you or does that modify it for me as well?
I believe that modifies it for everyone, so I would recommend saving it as one for yourself as well, so you can make any changes to it that you want. So you're not changing it for everyone and messing up everyone else's search.
Okay. And I think I accidentally skipped Debbie. Sorry about that. She asked, how do you delete a search that is not working?
I'm guessing like it's just spinning. Maybe that's there should be a cancel button. If there's not a cancel button, I would can you go into more detail, I guess, about what you mean by that? By a search not working? Because that could mean it's like an access issue. So you're searching for this employee one, but maybe you don't have access to see these documents, so that search wouldn't be working. Or maybe it's just spinning and your search is too big. I don't know what exactly you mean by search isn't working, but
She said, I use a trash can to delete it, but it won't let me use that name again for a search that is working. So I believe, Debbie, you can probably clarify, but are you referring to saved searches? Like if you've already trashed a saved search and then you want to build a new one, it won't let you use the same name.
Yes,
And also, oh, sorry, go ahead.
yes.
interesting.
Okay, so that's what she meant.
So after you delete it here, it doesn't let you use the same name. Interesting. That might be an issue you want to reach out to support about. Because I should be able to, after deleting, just going to do it right now. Template, record, save, employee, number one. Yeah, I was able to save it successfully. I would reach out to support at DocuNav.com to look more into that, but that shouldn't be not letting you create another one. Interesting.
And I'm putting that in the chat, everyone. So if you do experience any kind of issues, not even necessarily with just that, if you have any Laserfiche issues, you can always reach out to support at docunav.com, and I'm putting that in the chat. Some of you probably typically might reach out to your CSM if you're not familiar, or you might reach out to your IT admins, but you can also just reach out to us directly if you have any questions. So I'm putting that in the chat right now. Um, any other questions so far? Okay. Well, I have another one here for you, Travis. Let's say that someone didn't follow the best practices in building their repository and they did happen to scale their environment and now they're like really deeply nested into this structure that they have and they want to rehaul the entire environment. Like, what would you recommend for someone that's needing that level of change?
I would suggest reaching out to us. We have packages that completely redesign repositories and are able to refile all documents into the new design. But um, if they want to do it themselves, just doing research about best practices, how to create folders and stuff like that. But I'd say reaching out and purchasing one of our packages is probably the best way.
Awesome. Sandra's asking, when using the keyword search, selecting document text only works if the files are OCR'd? I guess she wants to know if that's the only way that
Uh,
they'll work.
no, it searches through metadata as well. So when you search, if the document is blank like these incoming ones, there's no metadata or anything about them, it will use the OCR. But if they're not OCR'd, the only information it has to go off of is going to be the title. So if searching for a witness statement, So it pulls up the witness statement, but it's pulling it off of just the name. This document isn't OCR'd or anything. It's just pulling it up off the name. Selecting document text, she says. So document text, let's see. Okay, so yeah, nothing's gonna come up. So if it's not OCR'd, then it's not gonna come up. That is correct, yes. And then does all fields refer to metadata fields? And entry name is going to be the title only. If you have metadata filled out in those documents, the best way to search for them is by template and then start filling out the metadata there. But then all fields is going to be all fields. So if do employee time off was a document type. So anything, this employee time off was the only document that had it, so it pulled it up. Does that answer the question correctly?
Additionally, just want to share that this video, like I said, it is being recorded. We'll put it up on our YouTube channel. And for those of you that have missed previous sessions that we've done, or just want to, learn a little bit more, recap some of those videos, I'm also putting the YouTube channel that we have here in the chat. This video will probably be up, should be up next week. And so if you want to revisit any of this information, or if you want to share it with anyone that's always looking for stuff and they can't find it, if they weren't able to make it onto this call today, please share this video with, or share our YouTube channel with them. Like I said, this video will be on there by next week. And with that being said, if there's no other questions, like I said, hope you all have a wonderful day. Hopefully this makes your life just a little bit easier. Hopefully you'll be able to, oh, hold on, we got one more. When entering text in keywords, will it only find matches, or would your search of employee time off also find anything that matches time and off?
It should only find, so I can find close searches as well. So only time was here or off, it'll pull up those documents as well. So this is pulling up in a new tab because there's only one document being found, but if there's multiple being found, they will all show up. Anything close to off or anything with off anywhere near the document or metadata or anything, it'll get pulled up here. So if I put employee, most likely all these documents that are in here will get pulled up. So because I'm in fields only, the document type has employee, and then this one has employee as well. So it is what they call a fuzzy search, I believe is what they call it. So anything close to employee or anything like it.
Awesome. Well, great questions, everyone. If there's anything that comes up that you think about that you weren't able to think about on this call in regard to managing your repository or searching best practices, feel free to reach out to your customer success manager. And as we shared, if there's any actual issues, you can always email us at support@docunav.com. The link to our YouTube channel is in the chat. With that being said, hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you all on the next call.
Thanks, everyone.